August 9th. Some people dealt with a lot of rain. Some people dealing with some. Kyle's got sunshine, I think, in Nashville today, which is good because we're talking about Fain versus Trump, who actually wants a Cybertruck, and what socks do which generation wear? We're going to end the regular week of programming with the riveting debate.
You know, a little bit of Friday fun. I got some stories about socks from last night, like anecdotal evidence on socks from last night. So
okay.
I'm excited.
Can't wait. Stick around for the end of the show, everyone, if you want to hear that. You know, whenever, like, it's unavoidable, right? Politics are a part of the general conversation right now. We try to avoid that stuff on this show. Today we're going to talk about Shawn Fain. We got to talk about him and
come on now.
Little spat going on. But whenever we're going to even dip our toe into the water that has any political implications, we're going to talk about, socks at the end of the show.
Absolutely.
Can't leave you with that.
There's an eject button somewhere for us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Because we are probably two of the most cancelable people you'll ever meet.
Period.
That's not true.
It's not true.
That's so not true.
We're lovely.
Just had to say it. Hey, we had an awesome conversation earlier in the week with Jim Ganther of Mosaic Compliance Services around what's going on with the CARS rule. You can go back and watch it. It was a webinar, 30-minute webinar. We had a lot of fun, and Jim always has just such a sharp wit, but also a very intellectual and reasonable approach to things. And so how do we get people back to this now? Is it on the website?
I think you just go to asodu.com still.
Yep, asodu.com. You can see it.
Scroll down just a wee bitsy, and should be a webinar thing there.
Perfect.
If not, there's a tab for media, and you go to Edge Webinars, or you search Edge Webinars at wherever you want to, or you go to our LinkedIn.
It's all there. Hey, Doug, thanks for chiming in on the live stream. Really good webinar. I'm glad you were there. Thanks for being there. Also, it was in today's email. If you get our daily email, you can scroll down probably like 2/3, 3/4 of the way down. You can replay it again right from there. If you don't get the daily email, you're really missing out. That is our best swing every day.
We're going to talk about a little thing in the daily email in one of the.
Oh, yeah, we will. We will.
Today.
And you can get that. You know how it goes these days with emails and subscribe, and it doesn't cost anything. Go to asodu.com. Just subscribe. Share it with your friends. If you have the email, share it with somebody today. It's a great day to share it with somebody. Oh, Jim's on the live stream today. Didn't even know. Didn't even know that. We weren't. All right, let's get into a little bit of news. So we haven't talked about EV companies in a little while, it feels like. Rivian and Lucid are continuing to face significant financial challenges in Q2 despite receiving some major investments. Both EV makers report substantial losses, raising concerns about their future sustainability amid competitive pressure from you-know-who, Tesla. So get this, Rivian lost $32,705 per vehicle delivered. How's that for back end? And or front end profit, or lack of, reported a $1.64 billion net loss in Q2, which is a 21% increase in loss from last year, despite a 9% rise in sales. Lucid, on the other hand, hold your breath for this one. They lost $112,688 per vehicle. How much does a Lucid cost?
Less than that.
They posted a $790 million net loss, meaning obviously they sold a lot less vehicles than Rivian in Q2. Despite record sales of their Air sedan, the company's financial performance does remain deeply concerning. Recently, Rivian got a $5 billion investment from Volkswagen Group, and Lucid took in $1.5 billion from Saudi Public Investment Fund, both investments looking to support ongoing operations. Lucid's interim CFO, busy guy right now.
I'm telling you what.
Dringa said the cash should be enough to fund Lucid's operations through the end of next year. So at least it's not like the end of this year. It's the end of next year.
They got a 17-month runway with $1.5 billion.
Live to fight another day. Both companies are feeling the heat, though, from Tesla's aggressive pricing strategies. Do you just roll into the next one and then have you give commentary?
Yeah, just keep going.
All right. Well, then, I know these two kind of go together.
I'd give you my commentary. Imagine if a public group in the U.S. decided to go and lose $32,000.
Oh, well, you can't do that. I mean, but that's what startups do, don't they? They lose money. Speaking of Tesla,
stop. Segue
time. Well, Tesla's Cybertruck, you've been seeing them everywhere. You've been seeing them online. Dealers have some. George Saliba has like a dozen of them on his lot right now. Tesla's Cybertruck, they've been the subject of a lot of fascination, a lot of debate since they unveiled A friend of mine who's a pastor here in Syracuse got one, and I made him a bumper sticker that says "My pastor drives it" and a picture of a Cybertruck.
That's amazing.
But they've amassed over 1 million reservations. However, the reality of converting those reservations into sales is proving to be a little more challenging. The deposit requirement was only $100, right? So how much commitment does it actually have? I had a deposit down quite a while ago, and I did not go through with my purchase. They're only making the Foundation series right now, which is actually a $20,000 increase over what the truck would be. It's got some other features bundled in. Reports do indicate that they're struggling to find the buyers. Somebody posted that they put a reservation in last month, and they've already got a notification that their truck's ready to build.
Wait,
so no one
what?
Last month. So no one really knows, and so they're saying that they're very soon, they're expecting them to stop making only the Foundation series, get into the below, $80,000, below $70,000 models that have only single engine instead of the 2 and 3 models, and then expanding into Canada as well.
So you're telling me, Paul, that there's only a slim market that wants a truck from Halo 2 priced at $120,000. Is that what it is?
Let's be fair. It's 100,000.
Okay, that's fair.
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Okay.
But that's the Cybertruck news. But when back to thinking Lucid, Rivian, pricing pressure from Tesla, right? They don't have the flexibility to do that right now.
Yep.
Obviously.
Well, and so we've talked to a couple Ford dealers this week, and the Ford Lincoln. This is like an aside to this, but even Ford and Lincoln kind of we're hearing that there were kind of talks of, hey, we may not should have gone all the way in as far as how hard we went on this EV thing last year.
You mean they didn't say they were wrong?
Yeah.
They're like, I can't say it.
Right?
Can't say it. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that was that's a precursor to these stories saying, hey, look, if the legacy manufacturers are realizing that this is not as an aggressive as a market on these, then these companies that are going 100% all in on EV have to know that there's going to be struggles over the next 1 to 3 years.
Yeah. They don't have nowhere else to go.
It's not going away. It's just that we're going to see some of these manufacturers potentially completely fail. We've already seen that with Fisker. We're going to see manufacturers adjust, take different paths to pricing models or even the types of vehicles that they're working with. It's just going to be an adjustment at this point. And I think whether you're Rivian or Lucid or Tesla or BYD, you're just marking your measures and trying to figure out where you're moving over the next 2 years.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of where we're moving over the next 2 years,
not
sure where. We're going to continue. Still has a lot to do. It's a little political, but it has
watch on him and see how fast he can get through it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Can you catch me? Can I run fast enough before my feet burn up on fire? In a heated exchange of words, UAW president, you know who he is, Shawn Fain. He takes aim at Donald Trump, calling him a scab who doesn't know poop emoji about the auto industry. Meanwhile, Trump has seemingly shifted his stance on EVs after the big Elon Musk endorsement.
Naturally.
So Shawn Fain publicly denounced Trump at a recent speech in Detroit, calling him a scab, accusing him of being clueless about the auto industry. Meanwhile, at a weekend rally, Trump admitted that his support for EVs has shifted because and this is a quote, "I'm for electric cars. I have to be. Because Elon endorsed me very strongly." He's an honest man. So I have no choice, right?
He's Trump just also, I got dollars.
This is in front of 50,000 people or something like that. So, so he says he also noted that he supports electric vehicles. And he said, quote, "This is the important part, I think, for a small slice, a small slice of the market." He went on to add, and I think a lot of dealers would agree with this, you want to have gas propelled cars. You want to have hybrids. You want to have every kind of car imaginable.
Yep. Yeah. This is a free market stance that says, hey, there's going to be buyers. There's going to be a beep for every seat, right? It's kind of like the old automotive
donkey
industry,
emoji,
right? Donkey emoji. Yeah. So that's it's just normal at this point to kind of have a multiplicity of options, and until we get price parity, charging networks, all that type of stuff, we're not going to see this overwhelmingly massive adoption, but it's going to continue to grow. So very interesting.
It's very, there's a very interesting, we want an email meme.
Oh yeah. Okay, did you see this in our morning email this morning?
Nathan's it's messaging us. I have the meme from the email.
Okay,
if you want it, and we
there's
want
like
it.
this whole like
he's gonna put it up on the screen.
Harris, Fain. Oh yeah.
There it is.
It's magical. It's like you got Elon and Donald Trump pointing at Kamala Harris and the UAW, but it's basically the same image pointing back at each other. It's this beautiful little meme. Kudos to our email team for putting it together.
It's a good one.
I think it's just enough parody that's just perfect.
It is. I think there's an irony in the UAW supporting the Democratic candidate, which is kind of being, pointing a finger at the Republican candidate for saying they're for electric vehicles. There's a whole weird thing going on there.
Speaking of weird things,
woo, let's get out.
Segue.
Yeah. A new YouGov survey reveals intriguing generational differences in, you guessed it, sock preferences.
I have opinions
among Gen Z. Here's what the survey found about sock choices of 5,015.
And
US
we're talking
adults.
just so if you can't see the picture on the screen, we're talking about sock height specifically.
Height.
Okay,
right.
Go ahead. Not materials, height.
Ankle socks are the most popular overall. 41% of Americans prefer them. No-show socks are favored by 15%. Knee-high socks by 3%, and 5% of respondents prefer going completely sockless.
We stay away from those people.
Now, check out Gen Z. Gen Z. For them, tall socks, 41% favor them compared to 23% of millennials. Gender differences show 40%.
They don't even
of men,
put Gen X on that.
Yeah. They don't even, everybody's skipping over Gen X. Gender differences show 40% of men prefer tall socks versus 21% of women. Socks with sandals
just threw up in my mouth a little.
Are also making a comeback, especially with Gen Z, where 25% of adults in Gen Z prefer the combo compared to 18% of all adults. So,
I don't know. I mean, I think the 18% of all adults is probably like 70 years old and higher.
Gotta be. You gotta be. It's like all Gen Z and all of 70 plus.
So yeah, if you have that AARP card, well, I know you can get that kind of young, but we're talking about 70 and over. All right, so I have teenage kids.
It's a mess.
When I'm walking around, I'm like, nothing says I've given up. Like calf high white socks, like sports socks, and like leather strapped sandals. I just want to that's my opinion though. But
shorts like it's 1983 again. It's
Jim Gather comment. This is Jim for the win right here. Crocs and socks? Question mark. That's the worst.
So
it's even worse. So I got to spend a little time with the co-founder of Hurley, the surf company, via Darren Doan. And he tells this joke because, like surfer, he's like, why do Crocs have holes in them? And he says, so your soul can seep out your feet through your feet. Such a great joke.
I mean, okay, last night
hold on, I'm stopping that. You got the story. No, you got to tell the story.
No, last night we're at this thing for my oldest daughter, and she's doing this girls thing, and there's like a bunch of teenagers and tweens kind of walking around too. And I'm telling you, the number of like high socks and high socks with sandals and Birkenstocks with socks, and like it was unfathomable.
Welcome.
I couldn't even see.
Welcome to middle age, Kyle. Even though you're in your 30s, they're complaining about what the teens are wearing. You are officially in. Listen, we hope you all have an amazing weekend. I will see you here tomorrow with our Saturday episode. But in the meantime, go care for some people, no matter what socks they have on.